Hello guys, the eSimpler here, and today I think it's probably best to start doing the tutorial again, but more advanced. And I don't know why it's big screen. Sorry beforehand, only covers VAMemory, but I found an older source from one that actually works. This one. I can't send the link just to this since I don't have the person who made it, so can't give that file just away. But if you download the source, then it does a good job on describing how it's used, and it's actually almost the same method that I done when I learned it. That comes pretty handy. Now let's start our project. C#, make sure it's a form. Well, it could be console if you want, but I'm going to do form. I'm going to show you the multiple classes method. This is somewhat simpler. So it doesn't matter what we do here. Add file, that's it. Access an item. Need to locate this. Memory, add. So that's us with our memory sorted. So let's double click here. We do need to include, we actually don't need to include it for here. Don't need that, possibly. Don't need most of those functions. So the first thing we're going to do is to make an offset class. So add class, let's name it offsets because we need that. Don't need anything from here. I just realised what I've done wrong. It's so bad. What I've done wrong here is I never named it. So this would be internal, let's call it force shoot. There we go, the whole time. So this public static class declares from the offset class. So we need to call the public local player class to get this, then make this shoot. Cool. We do need system threading to allow us to not overpower the application. This allows us to use more than one threads. That comes handy. So now what we do, let's make a public static public void of start shooting. So process memory mem public. What would be public? It's just a static public static integer client. This would be our DLL for this. So start shooting. What we need to do first though is to make a public void again start, two brackets here, form1 dot load, button click. So shoot dot not liking it static to make it public start. Yep. So this basically just calls it from the form So mem process memory mem equals new process memory. So I just need to declare it as that. Add our brackets in. Let's use. That's great, it's not working now. So let's declare it then here. Seems to work. It works sometimes and works doesn't sometimes, so you need to know what you're doing, counter it. So mem.start process and we're not declaring it. Why are we not declaring it? Using memory we are, yes. Static.
Great job.
So it's static start process. Then what to do, get, what is it? DAL address, this is what we want. Then client.dal. Then let's declare this as the client. So the client would be the newer DLL, which is better than VAMemory, because for VAMemory you need to have a different module. It's just the same thing, but this is it for you, so that's a good thing about this one. So we got that, that's easy. This is when threading comes in. So we're going to call this thread right here. You can't have it within a module. So this lets the class know that it can be run in a single thread, which makes it faster, somewhat, depends on what you're doing and how you operate your while loop. So what we want is to declare it int. We don't need to public because it's only accessible in start shooting. So force shoot equals mem dot reads integer, and you see here the offset. So what we need to do here is client add offsets dot local player dot force shoot. This would just declare it. And now what we do is create a server, attach this process, this is all offline, I just realised, so depending if you find it offline, it might not work online, so best to check. So I joined mp ignore. So we are alive. So what you could do is we do bhop2. So here we see client at that. So let's do our first example of a while loop. So while true, meaning that if this is executed, and if you're going to make it into a boolean, I'll call it enable, doesn't matter. So while enable equals true, this means you have to go to the form, and this should work, but you need to put true in it. Okay then, this one wants to do it. Static. Not your problem. It doesn't want to do it now. Okay then. What am I doing wrong? Oh, haha. I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing the wrong thing. Start shooting, and as you see, full enable. Then we put true and false, so you can do a trick box to enable that or disable some features of it. So that comes useful, but we don't need that for now. So static void true. So while this is being executed, then what do we do? We actually have to declare a thread. That's what I just realised. More optimization. So thread, let's call it while loop. So let's declare it here. While loop equals new thread, and the module we want to have is this one. Don't need the brackets. So the while loop thread will only execute this. So what we can do is while loop. Need to declare it within. That's my within here. While loop start. So this will start the thread. So what would happen without this is you'd get a freeze. Even if you have a thread sleep, it would still freeze the application itself. So this thread just basically runs this in a single thread, so that comes handy with it. So what we want to do is while true mem dot write integer. Let's hover over write, so we need an offset and what we're writing it to. So all we need to do is force shoot, and 5 means shoot thread sleep. Let's go for 2 milliseconds, but we do need to make sure that we cancel it or we can't shoot. There we go. Misspelled it. Thing, because this would not work. As you see here, it doesn't want to do it correctly. Let's see what we're doing wrong then. Am I spelling it correctly? We haven't got it that it goes to admin mode. So what I'm going to do is let's add a new app manifest. So this is the one line that we need. Copy, paste this. This requires a restart. So when starting it, it will work. There we go. It appears to be not working. I'm stupid. I realised what I've done. The reason why it's not working is we haven't put the client add. I'm so bad today, man. Don't do that mistake. You better not make that mistake. So it appears to be that doesn't want to shoot. Let's try it without it though. It'd be really odd if it works. And there we go. And let's make a trigger pop. So now we need to have the process of them going into the crosshair. So while this is more than one, then shoot. So that's what would happen. So let's do it. So client, add this. I'm gonna do it manually. Can't do it, or can't be bothered to do it. So let's make it, yeah, it's integer in crosshair. Yeah, in crosshair. So we don't. Let's read it. Right, I know why. The reason why this never worked is because we declared it as a number. So instead of writing it to the client and offset, what we've done is we're telling it to write to 1 to 5, which would not work. So that's why that never worked. That makes more sense. So we need to know the number for this one. So it's that. Let's call it this one IB, because it's IP. Actually, it's even better because it's a pointer. And call this one crosshair. Then we need to know what the pointer is. The pointer is this one. Okay, cool. So what you need to do is IP add that, then make it a hex number. We add this. So a pointer is just a client here. This is your base address, basically. You don't put this onto one line. This would not point to anything. That's just adding. You need to add the base and the offset. I'll make a post on how to do that soon, so don't worry. So what we do is, while true, don't need to actually do that. You can just put it to an if loop. So if, then, and if. It's just brackets. And crosshair equals more than 2. Let's actually see. The reason why I put more than 2 because it's not the actual value that we need. What we'll do, put this here. So it'll only execute the minute it's finding something. So it's only a true statement. Let's try it. It's not shooting. Let's try it for a knife. So it's not shooting, then put it over. And it's still going. Well, true. Debug. Right line. And crosshair. And let's see where we went wrong. It equals 2. And it still equals 2. I'm so bad. Right. The reason why it's still 2 is because you haven't told it to update. We have to put this within the loop so it can update. Mistakes, easy mistakes. So now it sets to 0. So now we know that this is working, and this whole time I can have it in the while loop. But let's do if statements. There you go. So let's restart the game. There we go. So it's pretty good for a cheat that uses multiple classes instead of one big form. Meaning that you're able to do it quite simply instead of one big thing. Plus the thread sample is a really good method to make your cheat have multiple cheats running while being consistent. So let's see. That quick. It's pretty amazing to see that. And I'm curious what this will actually do. There we go. So that's how to make a cheat with multiple classes, which is more somewhat correct and actually more professional in some type of way. This is only for reverse engineering purposes. So if you want to make it for a cheat for a game, use for your own use, and be aware that the enemy region or file can potentially give you a FAQ ban, because it won't protect you from being detected. So it's up to you if you want to use it, but if you want to use it with your own program, it's best to learn using Microsoft crypto something encryption, which changes the address of the app. So each time you load up the app, it has a different HWID tag to it, which is what Polyloader does. So I hope you learned something new. Learn from mistakes and make your cheat with multiple things. So I hope you learned something new, and I hope that I've made it more clear and more advanced. And I'll be making a blog on breaking down each step, but much quicker. So from me, bye.
Great job.